It's a great honor to be back here at Dunso Shipping Meet, an event that has become the heartbeat for the shipping industry. DSM is not just an exhibit, but it is a gathering of community, our community, ship owners, operators, insurers, technology providers, and partners, all coming together on this small island with a big heart for shipping. Here on Dunso, we talk about the future fuels, future technology, digitalization, and what more? The future of global trade. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about another future, the future of people. And I want to begin with a simple but impactful question. Have you checked your pulse today? Now, what is a pulse? We all know what it means physically, right? A quick touch to the wrist. Oh, there's a heartbeat. Proof that, what is the proof of having a pulse? It's a proof that we are alive. It's a proof that we are probably strong. But in our industry, it means something deeper. What is the pulse of your crew? What is the pulse of your company or your company culture? What is the pulse of the family waiting at home? Our families or the families of the seafarers. That is the central message of my talk today. Check your pulse, seafarer, securing seafarer well-being. It is more than a slogan, it is an invitation, a challenge to remember that seafarer well-being is not a soft subject, not something extra. Seafarer well-being is a core safety issue, a business risk, and above all, a human responsibility. At the Swedish Club, this conviction is at the heart of who we are. Earlier this year, at our annual general meeting, our managing director put it in simple terms. Seafarer well-being matters. Those three words, it shaped the entire day. And that is why I am here with you today at DSM to share how our Check Your Pulse initiative is making seafarer well-being not just a topic of conversation, but a program of action. Because this much is true. No seafarer, no shipping. No well-being, no future. So, seafarers are hidden workforce. Over 90% of world's goods are carried by sea. Yet, people who make it possible often remain invincible. Their challenges are real. Long separation from loved ones, stress and fatigue, mental health struggles that are often hidden. And the consequences are real too. Poor well-being doesn't just reduce performance. Do you agree? It increases risk, endangers safety, and impacts families back home. It starts with fatigue and stress that leads to accidents and incidents. And then the cycle just continues with high turnover. And in the end, companies suffer reputational and financial loss. In other words, when well-being fails, safety fails, efficiency fails, and shipping as a whole is weakened. At the Swedish Club, caring for people is not optional. It is a core responsibility and an essential part of safety and risk management. That is why we developed the Check Your Pulse initiative, a holistic approach to seafarer well-being. This is what makes the Check Your Pulse different. It recognizes that safety cannot be separated into checklists or audits. A ship's safety begins with the people who operate it. Their health, their mindset, the relationships, and the culture in which they work. By taking this holistic approach, we are not only reducing risks, we are building stronger teams, supporting our members more effectively, and contributing to safer and more resilient shipping industry. Now, I asked you earlier, have you checked your pulse? Pulse, as I said, is directly connected to our health, right? Do you agree? But in our Check Your Pulse initiative, we also take into consideration the company and the company culture. How is the pulse of your company? This is not only applicable to shipping organizations, but with the different companies. And of course, this is something special in the Swedish Club because we have taken into account the pulse of the families, the family of our seafarers. Rather than looking at well-being through a narrow lens of compliance or physical conditions alone, Check Your Pulse addresses the full picture of life at sea. It brings together the 6 interconnected areas like mental health, exercise, food, fatigue management, company culture, and family support. Now, let's talk about mental health. Mental health remains one of the most hidden struggles at sea because stigma continues to silence too many seafarers who need support. That is why, in collaboration with Mental Health Support Solutions, we have produced leaflets on depression, anxiety, and burnout. Just simple, practical resources that seafarers can read and use to recognize what they or a colleague might be going through. So if you picture this, there is a seafarer who hasn't been able to speak with his family. And for weeks, he grows withdrawn. And suddenly, during a safety meeting, the captain asks, "How is everyone doing today?" That very small question opens the door. He speaks and he gets support. Otherwise, silence could have been far more dangerous. So let me ask you this question to all of you. If your crew or one of your colleagues feel overwhelmed today, do you think they know where they turn for help? Next is exercise. Of course, anyone who worked on board the vessel, raise your hand. Anyone who worked on board? Great. You know that life on board can be sedentary, but physical activity is essential for resilience. Regular physical activity plays a role in protecting the mental health of seafarers. Exercise stimulates the release of endorphins, improving mood and reducing stress, anxiety, and fatigue. But it also supports healthy sleep patterns, boosts energy levels, and provides a constructive outlet for frustration. Beyond the physical benefits, exercise creates a sense of routine and control in an otherwise confined and demanding environment. While group activities foster camaraderie, they break down hierarchy and reduce feelings of isolation. That is why, as part of a Check Your Pulse initiative, we work with a certified personal trainer to design simple bodyweight routines tailored for life at sea. Just practical tools to promote both physical resilience and mental well-being. Another part of our key focus on the Check Your Pulse initiative is food. Of course, it's very important, right? Food is more than fuel. It directly shapes both the physical and mental well-being of seafarers. Balanced nutrition helps sustain energy levels, improve concentration, regulate mood, and strengthen immunity, while poor diets often lead to fatigue, irritability, and long-term health risks. On board, meals are also a central point of social life and influencing moral and culture. Being a Filipina, we have a lot of seafarers on board, and food is always, at the center of getting together. And then we cannot say to our seafarers, oh, you can't eat this. But it's mostly like, changing the mentality, changing the behavior behind your relationship with the food. So within our Check Your Pulse, we collaborated with a certified dietitian to provide practical guidance and simple tips for healthier choices at sea. By empowering cooks and crews with knowledge and resources, we ensure that food not only feeds, but truly nourishes, supporting safety, performance, and resilience at sea. We have one member where there is this young AB, and this AB said, I wish we had more fresh food. Sometimes I just feel heavy and sluggish. And you know what did the shipping company do? They responded. So when cooks are trained and supported, crew report higher energy, sharper focus, and better moods. So this one is a question to ship owners. Does your catering budget empower your cooks to nourish, not just to feed your crew? Only ship owners can answer that question. Now, fatigue management. The Swedish Club is currently looking into practical ways to address fatigue and how we can best support our members and their seafarers. Fatigue is a complex challenge in the maritime industry with direct implications for safety, performance, and well-being at sea. So as part of this process, we are exploring international best practices, evidence-based guidance, and hands-on strategies that can be adapted to the unique demands of shipboard life. Our focus is on identifying tools and approaches that will help our members raise awareness, manage fatigue risks, and strengthen overall crew welfare. So while our work in this area is still ongoing, our commitment is clear: to stand beside our members as partners in promoting a safer, healthier, and more sustainable working environment for seafarers worldwide. So consider this. They say that 17 hours being awake, performance is like being legally drunk. Now, this is one case study. There's one tanker, and the chief officer worked 18 hours straight. During maneuvering, he made a critical error. But thankfully, the captain intervened. Do you think the cause is incompetence? No. It was fatigue. So we come to company culture. Why is it important to check the pulse of our company, or the culture on board the vessels, or the culture on the shore side? Company culture is the heartbeat of every organization. And at sea, it can determine whether a crew feels safe, valued, and motivated, or isolated and unheard. A supportive culture gives seafarers the confidence to raise concerns and speak up when something feels unsafe, which is essential for both well-being and operational safety. When seafarers feel respected and included, trust grows, teamwork strengthens, and risks are reduced. Recognizing this, we made company culture a central pillar of the Check Your Pulse initiative. And we've created a poster as a reminder on board that every voice matters. It reinforces that well-being is not about individual health, but also about the environment we create together. One where seafarers know they are seen, heard, and supported. We discussed psychological safety, which is a belief that one will not be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, concerns, or mistakes. Being a Filipina, when I was little, in our generation, we were trained not to speak up. We were trained to listen and do as I told. But that doesn't work in this industry. We need to train more of our seafarers and the younger generation to be more empowered. We need to empower them that they can speak up, because sometimes decisions should be questioned if they are dangerous decisions or decisions that can lead to any accident. Now, I want you all to please focus on this next video that I will be showing. We will play the video.
We look up to the skies and watch the stars twinkle. I remember Dad said that if we ever feel lost, we look for that brightest star, and it will guide us back home. One day, Daddy said he'll be gone for a long time, but he told us not to be sad, because he's doing it for us. He said when he comes back, he'll have lots more time to be with us. Sometimes, I dream about Daddy's world at sea. There's yummy food, they play sports. There's even a room with so many buttons. But as days and months goes by, I looked at the stars and said, I can't wait to see Daddy again.
All right. This part of the crew well-being or check your pulse is very personal to me. My late father, he wasn't a seafarer. He was a soldier. So I grew up not having him at home all the time. So I remember the ache of missing him. And I always didn't understand why. Why he couldn't be there during my birthdays. Why couldn't he be there during school closing? Or, just during dinner time. But I knew he was serving a good purpose, a greater purpose, and I was proud of him. And that mixture of pride and longing helped me and shaped me. And it helps me empathize today with the children of seafarers. Is there any one of you who have been working on board and then your children had children before? Missing your children, So the same question, the same longing, the same quiet resilience that I can empathize with the children of seafarers. Our journey began with Our Family and the Sea, a beautifully illustrated book. This is available online, and also you can grab a copy in our booth, B13. This is a great collaboration with Mental Health Support Solution. It is created to support families separated by life at sea. It tells the story of siblings Angelo and Mucha, whose father works aboard a cargo ship, and they struggle with missing him, especially during their birthdays. But guided by their mother, grandparents, and friends, they learn to understand. And following its success, we released the companion guide. This is a practical guide that goes hand in hand with the book, which will serve as a guide and support to seafarers and their families. This guide gives family practical support on how to handle separation and reunion, how to understand children's needs from toddler to teenager, and how to prepare for embarkation and return, and those emotionally charged moments every family knows. So Our Family and the Sea and the Wellbeing Guide mean so much. They are more than just projects. They are tools for connection, reassurance, and hope. They remind us that supporting seafarers means supporting their families too. Because when families are cared for, seafarers are cared for. And when seafarers are cared for, shipping is stronger and safer. At the Swedish Club, loss prevention is not just about reducing claims, it is about safeguarding people, operations, and reputation. So through TELP, or our Trade Enabling Loss Prevention, and digital analytics, we identify risks before they escalate. Through alerts, publications, and safety scenarios, we prepare crews for challenges. But above all, it is about care. Care for the crew, care for the vessel, and care for the maritime industry. So the future is clear. I said earlier, securing seafarer well-being. Our industry faces growing crew shortages. Recruitment and retention are becoming harder, and pay alone will not solve it. Younger generations will not settle for workplaces that ignore well-being. Do you agree? Do you think younger generations would like to work for a shipping company who doesn't give a care about the well-being of their seafarers? I don't think so. They expect it as a baseline alongside safety, respect, and dignity. They want to feel valued, not just as workers, but as people. If shipping does not adopt, talent will simply move to industries that care better for their people. But if we do, if we put crew well-being at the heart of our culture, we can attract and retain the workforce needed to secure the future of global trade. So well-being is not about comfort. Well-being, it is a driver for safety, performance, and long-term resilience in shipping. Crews who are well-rested, supported, and healthy make fewer mistakes. Agree or disagree? Directly reducing accidents and risks. And at the same time, companies that prioritize well-being are more attractive to skilled seafarers and better able to retain them in a competitive market. A motivated and cared for crew delivers efficiency and consistency, while a strong commitment to social responsibility builds trust with regulators, partners, and society at large. So ultimately, people are the true resilience of shipping, the foundation on which safety, reliability, and reputation rest. Seafarer well-being is not a charity. Seafarer well-being is a core safety issue. It is a business risk and a human responsibility. So, I turn to the question I began with. Have you checked your pulse today? Not your physical pulse, but your company's pulse. The pulse of your crew. The pulse of your culture. Your company culture. At the Swedish Club, we believe that safety of a ship begins with the well-being of its crew. But let me be clear, there is still much work to do, especially on mental health. And we cannot do it alone. That is why the challenge is for all of us. As an industry, as employers, as colleagues, as a community, to check our pulse and to check the pulse of our seafarers. Because when we do, we not only secure their well-being, we secure the future of shipping itself. No seafarer, no shipping. No well-being, no future. Thank you very much.
Lorraine. Thank you so much. You showed us this little small nice film about our family at sea, and I was wondering how can shipping companies actively include the seafarers' families in their crew welfare programs, and of course without breaching the operational confidentiality.
It's all about, giving families tools. You don't need to share coordinates of the vessel, right? Because that is by default um, protected by confidentiality. But if we provide tools for our families that support them, like webinars maybe, or resources, or maybe a children's book, I think this is just a simple gesture of strengthening the family resilience at home.
Is it common
For
to do and use it?
well, not all shipping companies do that actually. That is why we want to encourage our members to have a program for the families, because it's important. Because when seafarers feel that their families are also supported, then when they are working on board, they have one extra worry less, right?
Yeah.
One less worry for the seafarers.
We are running out of time, but I would like to say something that you asked us before. How are you doing today?
I'm great because I'm at DSM.
Yes, that's great.